Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to dive right into how everyday digital conveniences might actually be secretly draining your finances. Let's get into it. Let's be real for a second. You probably have subscriptions you forgot you're still paying for. I mean, it happens to all of us, right? Maybe it's that streaming service you grabbed just to binge one specific season finale, and you promised yourself, hey, I'll cancel it next week. Or maybe a premium meditation app you swore you'd use every single morning but haven't even opened since January. Life gets super busy, these apps just kind of get buried in folders on our phones, and the billing quietly, invisibly continues in the background. No, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Well, one small monthly payment doesn't look dangerous. A few bucks here, a few bucks there. It barely makes a dent in a typical checking account, does it? But stack 10 or 15 of them together, and the number can become surprisingly large. And honestly, that is exactly the trap we're unpacking today. Section 1. The subscription economy. So why is absolutely everything a subscription these days? Well, remember the days of one-time purchases? You'd go to a big box store, buy a piece of software or a movie in a physical case, take it home, pay exactly once, and you owned the whole shebang forever. That old model was incredibly predictable for us as consumers. You knew exactly what was leaving your wallet. But frankly, it was really hard for businesses. They had to constantly market to you just to convince you to buy the very next version. Today, we've shifted almost entirely to recurring payments. Instead of one big transaction, you pay a much smaller amount, but you pay it monthly or yearly. Objectively speaking, companies absolutely love this because it guarantees continuous, reliable, steady revenue. It literally changed the game. It makes the business way more stable while making your monthly budget, well, a whole lot more complicated. Because this business model works so incredibly well, it has spread like wildfire to nearly every aspect of our lives. Just think about a typical routine. We don't really do cable anymore, do we? We're juggling 3 or 4 different streaming services for our TV and movies. We pay monthly for ad-free music so our commute isn't full of commercials. We've got physical gym memberships, plus those digital fitness apps for home workouts. Heck, we even pay a monthly fee just to make sure our smartphone photos are safely backed up in cloud storage. Add in food and grocery delivery perks, premium gaming networks, and digital news outlets, and it's a massive ecosystem. Most of us are interacting with a handful of these categories every single day without a second thought about the ongoing cost attached to them. Section 2. The collective cost. Let's look at a purely illustrative fictional example here to see how this math actually plays out in the real world. Let's say you've got a handy little productivity app for $5 a month. You want your music ad-free, so add $10. You grab a delivery membership because, hey, we can take out, right? That's $15. And a digital fitness class for $20. Now, on a random Tuesday afternoon, any of these individual charges feels completely harmless. It's just the price of a fancy latte or a quick fast food lunch. But if we look at the specific fictional stack, it adds up to $50 a month. And that is just for 4 basic services. Now, here is where it gets crazy. $50 a month turns into a staggering $600 per year. Just let that sink in for a second. $600 a year for just 4 little services. And if you're like the typical American household, you definitely have more than 4 active subscriptions. You might have 10. If you have a family, you might have 15 or 20. That $600 could easily be over $1,000 quietly slipping right out of your checking account every single year. To put that into perspective, that's cash that could be funding a vacation, paying off debt, or bulking up your emergency savings. The entire subscription trap relies on this one massive blind spot in our perspective. Individually, these services are incredibly cheap. $5? It doesn't set off any financial alarm bells in our heads. But collectively, they're surprisingly expensive. The danger is totally in the accumulation. It's like the classic scenario of death by 1,000 paper cuts to your personal finances. You aren't going broke because of one huge, massive purchase. You're just slowly leaking cash through dozens of tiny, almost invisible holes. Section 3. The psychology of subscriptions. So why do we keep letting this happen? Well, there's actually some really fascinating evidence-based psychology behind it. First off, small monthly prices just feel harmless to the human brain. We literally don't register a $4.99 charge the way we'd register a $60 upfront cost. Second, automatic billing totally hides the spending. Back in the day, when you physically handed over cash or wrote a check, you actually felt the psychological sting of paying. Now, it happens invisibly in the background while you're asleep. Third, free trials are perfectly engineered to leverage human forgetfulness. They seamlessly transition into paid plans before you even realize your 7 days are up. And lastly, annual renewals. I mean, trying to remember something that bills once every 365 days is practically impossible without setting a rigid calendar alert.
Section 4. Finding forgotten charges.
All right, let's take some action. Think of this as a quick personal finance treasure hunt to solve the mystery of your missing money. Step 1. Actually open up your recent bank statements and read them line by line. Don't just glance at the total balance, look at the specific merchants. Step 2. Do the exact same thing with your credit cards. Step 3, and honestly, this is a huge one. Check the subscription settings directly inside your Apple or Google account on your phone. A lot of apps build directly through your phone's ecosystem, so the app's actual name is totally hidden on your bank statement and just shows up as a generic platform charge. Finally, search your email for words like receipt or renewal and actively hunt down those sneaky one-off annual charges so they never catch you off guard again. Section 5. Stopping the leak. Once you find them, you've got to build some simple, long-term habits to keep your money safe. Make it a routine to audit your subscriptions every few months. Sit down, grab a coffee, and be absolutely ruthless about canceling services you aren't actively using. Also, make sure you are paying for duplicates. You really truly only need one music streaming app. Double-check that you're choosing the right plan, too. If you live alone, you don't need to pay for the 4-screen premium 4K family tier. Moving forward, set a calendar reminder on your phone the absolute second you sign up for a free trial. And my favorite life hack, start calculating the true annual cost. Always multiply that monthly price by 12 before you hit subscribe and see if it still feels like a good deal. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this powerful thought because it completely reframes the way we look at our accounts. Saving money isn't always about making huge sacrifices. Sometimes it's simply about stopping money from quietly leaving your account. It's so true, isn't it? You don't necessarily need to completely give up the things you love to improve your financial health. Sometimes the absolute easiest money you will ever make is the money you stop wasting on things you totally forgot you even had. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I hope this gives you the tools you need to navigate the subscription economy and keep way more of your hard-earned cash. So, I have to ask, what hidden subscription are you going to finally uncover and cancel today? Subscribe to Anurag Global for simple explanations of how money works in America. Until next time, stay focused and keep learning.